Singapore is consistently rated as one of the best places in the world for an expatriate to live. And between 2004 and 2008, the city-state enticed hundreds of thousands of foreign professionals to move there to work.
In the run-up in the economy before the crisis, there was a huge amount of job creation that was filled up by foreigners. And a lot of that was in the finance sector and the sort of affiliated sectors.
Now Singapore's financial services sector is letting go large numbers of people, with estimates that as many as 200,000 expats here could lose their jobs. Swiss citizen René von Rautenkrantz was a long-time employee of a US construction equipment manufacturer until he was let go last month.
Well, it was a shock, to say the least. When you are 18 years with a company, you feel a certain job security.
He's desperate not to have to leave Singapore yet, though.
My son is in school. He is 1 year for finishing high school, which is just a very crucial time to stay bound in one school. That's probably number one reason. Number two, my wife has a good job here in Singapore, which of course right now is very important.
At least it's possible here for expats to stay on to look for other work. Lower skilled migrant workers are rarely given that luxury.
The countries most affected in the region would be countries like Bangladesh and Philippines, where close to 10% of GDP are represented by remittances coming in.
These Bangladeshis arrived in Malaysia some months back, only to find that the jobs they'd been promised no longer existed. They have no option but to pack up and go home empty-handed. This worker's family sold its land to raise the money to send him to Malaysia.
So now anything don't have money. My mother, father, very poor.
In the face of protests by its trade unions, Malaysia's government abruptly cancelled the work permits of some 55,000 Bangladeshis that were set to come and work here.
That kind of action by the government is the right thing to do, because if the employees or the foreign workers actually come to our country and suddenly within 2 or 3 months we found that there is no job for them, then I think that the economic impact on these workers is even much worse, in the sense that they have to pay their airfare, they have to pay their medical fees, levy, things like that.
Still, it's a blow to Bangladesh, which earned some $9 billion last year from its 5.5 million people working overseas.
This homebound remittance constitute one of the main source of our foreign currency earning. It contribute to the main formation of our foreign exchange reserve, and in turn it also helps the families in reducing their poverty. So it's very important for us.
As these workers head home, their government hopes that by next year, countries like Malaysia and Singapore will once again be looking for more Bangladeshis to work on their construction sites and in their factories. Normally the most robust economy in Southeast Asia, Singapore's economy is set to shrink by as much as 9% this year. Still, many newly unemployed expats are opting against hurrying back to their equally troubled homelands.
I say still that Asia has a lot more possibilities. We feel strong that something will happen here again in Singapore or the region as a whole.
A hope that will be even more strongly felt by migrant workers from Asia's poorest countries, for whom a job overseas is the only escape route from a life of poverty.